What's this for, by the way?
It's for it's behind the scenes of Buff Festival.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
No, Tim's not in the video.
Oh, Tim, get in the video. Come here. Come here.
I feel like we're being sponsored by Doritos or something. Okay.
Yeah, they better be paying. Well, I think we are, because there's a Doritos panel.
There is?
They always do the filmmaking competitions. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
tangent. Let's try this. This is really good. No, think of what
Okay. Was there a particular event or time that you recognized that filmmaking was more than just a hobby and you want to do this for the rest of your life? Or if you do want to do it for the rest of your life, I'm just assuming things.
So my short film process, like, I decided to make short films to see if it was something I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I just I'm going to make 5 films, and by the end of this, I feel like I will probably know. So.
Who gave you your first camera?
Who gave you first camera? I bought my first camera after doing a KFC commercial. That's my story.
I've seen that.
Very important. Well, sorry you had to watch it.
That was great. Oh my god. It was really hard to find too. I think there's only like one video.
Good, I'm glad about that. That was a good thing.
I haven't seen this.
Oh, good. You won't.
Okay. Is it harder to get started on YouTube or is it harder to keep going with it?
I think it's harder to get started. It's a good challenge to get yourself into the community and get people subscribing at the start. And the best way to do that is just by meeting up with other creators, collaborating. Once you're past that milestone, you just got to keep creating. I would disagree.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh, no
harder
way.
to keep going.
Anyone can get onto YouTube. That's the whole point of it.
Well, it depends if you're talking about building up an audience.
I think, well, yeah, but that's what part of maintaining it is maintaining that audience and answering to, the sort of pressures that they put on you. I think that is harder, so I found it hard.
There's a fear to get started for some people, of putting yourself out there. But then when you want to keep going, that can last, 10 years or as long as you want it to. So yeah.
I don't think anyone thinks of the long-term plan. It's easy to just make a channel and then it's like, oh wow, there's a long-term plan here. How do we make this work?
How do you find the people you collaborate with, and is it hard to keep in contact with them, or?
There's like a YouTuber phone book, and you just flick through, sort of flick pages, hit there, and then no.
I actually, with these guys, I had followed them on Twitter because I liked their rickshaw run video, and they posted that they needed a cameraman on there, so I emailed them my stuff, and that's how I ended up here and shooting all this stuff with them. So for me, it was all through the internet.
Yeah, social media is an incredibly powerful tool to meet like-minded people and build your team.
Also, what Tim said, he sent us his stuff. I think that's the important thing. There's a difference between email like, hi, I'd like to collaborate with you. Okay. Or hi, here's what I've made. Would you like to collaborate? That's a whole
that's a
different
big
approach.
thing.
I think that's important.
Speaking of the rickshaw run, I don't watch a lot of videos on YouTube, but I do watch you guys, and that's actually great that I'm getting to talk to you guys. And I recently got this new giant TV, so I got to watch the rickshaw run when it came out.
Nice.
And honestly, it was so great. I have the attention span of like a 4-year-old, so that was really entertaining. And I think it's just really hard to keep the audience captive for that long, especially because there's a lot of younger viewers. But because of how great and creative you guys are, your viewers just stretch from 8 to 80.
Yeah, maybe, I suppose so. That's really, really kind of you to say so, yeah. I guess we were talking about that in there a little bit, like how do you know when to make longer stuff and how do you keep an audience engaged, and we were saying, and then that was definitely a case of just watching it through lots of times and just working out if there was a moment where someone's attention drops, like speeding it up. That's why we cut really fast, just to make sure no one clicks away.
So what advice would you give to somebody who wants to not just start a YouTube channel, but continue on and make that something that they want to do with the rest of their life or part of their life? That works too.
I think one of the biggest mistakes that's often made by people starting channels is they look at what's been done before or what's most successful on YouTube and emulate that, and that's not necessarily the best way to get started. Someone who's original and has fresh ideas and does what they're really passionate about tends to be more genuine and grow and have more longevity to their channel.
I really agree with that.
You need to be able to enjoy what you're doing. That's the most important thing, because that's the thing that can keep you going for, even if you're in rough patches, if you still love what you're making, that's the thing that's going to keep you in the game.
I guess that's what everyone has in common here. None of us were like, hey, we want to make more of a filmic type thing, and then did it, and then it was amazing. You have to pursue that your passion for it, you know what I mean? So lots of people here, it takes a lot of guts to put something up on the big screen, and maybe it's not perfect, maybe you're not that proud of it, I don't know, but you just do it, and then you go and make your next thing, and you go and make your next thing. You've made 4, 5, 6 short films now? 5, that's incredible in a year, it's just to keep going at it, have faith, I guess.
Do you have like an approximate amount of videos of the ones that you sort of keep to yourself rather than show a lot of people? Do you struggle with showing a lot of your content, or as soon as you like make it, then you fix it and you just put it out there? Is that a problem?
We're good. Everything's good.
I can probably answer that with I posted a film, a pretty personal film called For Ella. I think it was called For Ella. Yeah, I think I called it that. And it was one where I went to see a film for Ella. Yeah, thank you. And it was where I went to see my girlfriend, and that was like that was a really personal one. So that was really hard to post. And I made it, and I didn't post it for a year. And in that course that year, I showed it to like my 5 closest friends and like talked it through and sort of worked out in my head whether I wanted to share it, because you know it is different when you share something online. You share it with other people, especially if it's a more personal thing. So yeah, not always. Don't always post stuff straight away.
I just have to turn my brain off and just press the button and just be like, it's done,
you
it's
do it
out
to the
there,
sides.
it doesn't belong to me anymore,
that's
it's not my
interesting.
thing, I'll go and make my next thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, you probably get this question a lot, but what films or filmmakers have inspired you the most, you think?
I mean, well, directors, David Fincher's a big fan. I'm a big fan of David Fincher right now. I'm a big fan of David Fincher right now. He's put out a new film, Gone Girl, and I went back and watched Seven and stuff. He's pretty amazing. Edgar Wright's always been a big inspiration. I feel like Edgar Wright's a big inspiration for like a lot of YouTube filmmakers. I don't know why, because it's like got that like modern filmmaking feel to it, you know?
I feel like it's always been because for me it's because he's British.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I know a
really
lot of
British.
like British filmmakers
Yeah,
who
yeah.
see him as an idol, because he's like he made the big budget looking movie and used all of those tropes but made like a little British film out of it, which was Shaun of the Dead. So he was like my main inspiration for starting as well. Like I don't try and emulate him as much as I used to with my early films, but he was what kind of got me into it.
He's probably the director you see the most emulated online as well.
Did you start getting interested in films and videos at a really, really young age? And can you give like a specific age that if you can if you can remember, say like when you saw a film, like, oh, I want to be a filmmaker? Did that happen?
I'm actually screening my first ever short film at my screening on Sunday, which I made when I was, I think, like 8 years old. Shot it on my grand's like VCR camera. That's the first thing I'm showing at Buffer Festival at my screening. It's about an apple tree.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That sounds great. Yeah, I mean, I guess we made films pretty young as well, like 13. We used to make these videos for a website called Firebox, where you'd buy a product and then you could send in a video review of that product, and if it was good, you'd win like a £50 voucher for the website. And so we started doing that, and I think no one else was entering it, so we started winning like every month. So that was definitely a motivator. But I also feel like it's just a desire to tell stories or communicate rather than even filmmaking. Like when you're like, well, you were making films at 8, but when I was that age, I didn't really know how to make a film or whatever, but you know that you want to tell stories perhaps, or you want to communicate to people, and film is just a way of doing that, I suppose.
Yeah, and I did more music and some photography when I was younger, and I didn't really get into film until I was probably 20 actually, so fairly recently. I always enjoyed it, but I never made any till later on, and so it's definitely, I think you're right though, it's the storytelling thing. I always liked photography, I always liked music. And
graphic design, it's the same thing.
Eventually just got into video just almost by accident through a professor that thought I would be good at it, so yeah.
So Tim, what instruments do you play?
I play guitar, some piano, but I mostly do production stuff, so yeah,
Make
mostly on my
beats.
computer. Yeah.
Are there common qualities in cinemas that you don't like?
In cinemas?
Yeah, or really any video, if there's some sort of pet peeve when you see somebody filming something and you're just like, oh, why did they do that?
In like films, so there are things in films that...
Films or just YouTube content.
I think it's good. That's what it's saying. Yeah.
Terrible. I don't know why that took off. Resent it every time I have to do
jump
it.
cut.
Yeah.
No, I think it's awesome that people experiment with those different techniques. I don't think.
No, that's what I was about to say. I mean, it's just it's frustrating to see people repeating what they've done so many times before. So anything that's original, anything that's new, you haven't seen before. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Stuff
exciting
around
to see
us,
people
the
just doing
art.
different stuff. That's cool, I think.
On YouTube as well, a lot of people are still learning. So if I see things that are just like, oh, that's a bit cliche, that's just people getting through that. That's them trying that stuff out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then you
But
see
if
they
they-
make another thing. It's like, oh wow, like that's really the stage everyone's at. It's just pursuing it,
So when you create, do you have to keep any budget limitations in mind?
Yeah, that's one of the brilliant challenges about YouTube, and I think it is a brilliant challenge because it's restriction, and sometimes your creativity is better when you're restricted. And with all YouTube content, we all make films on very small budgets, and I think that gives you a good skill set for when you get older.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think it inspires creativity. We're also lucky in that because there are a few people that are starting to get into filmmaking and create some great content, there are people coming forward like New Form Digital who are offering small grants for people to make films, and that's exciting to have that, as a possibility.
Yeah. And what do you think audiences want? And is it your job to sort of always cater to what they want to see?
That's a good question. On YouTube specifically, people want to follow the story of the person that they're subscribed to, and so whatever you're making, whether it is a personal vlog or it's a short film that you don't feature in, I think you have to keep your audience along with how you got there, why you did that, and then they stay engaged.
People want to feel, man. They want to connect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's always the question, isn't it? I think you probably debated this yourself. Do you create what you think your audience want to watch, or do you create what you want to watch? Ultimately, you can only create what you want to make, right? You can't create things for other people, because it won't be good. But it's nice to make something that you want to make, also understand hope that other people appreciate it. It's important.
Do you feel that because social media makes you so connected, do you think that being creative entitles you to give back?
Enable you or entitles you?
Entitles you as well as enables you, because I feel like I don't think you guys are really easy to talk to. I don't think there's anything going on like you're trying to give back just for all of this media attention, because you guys don't seem like that at all.
No, I think that's what's nice about YouTube. Everyone's just real, where everyone's the same. It's just, someone who watches a piece of content is the same as someone who makes it. It doesn't perhaps different to the mainstream media world. We're not above. We don't think of ourselves as above people who watch our stuff. And so social media's giving us the opportunity to make stuff, and it's lovely that other people watch it. We're lucky to have that. I think we don't take it for granted. I suppose you sort of understand the audience there.
I think that's a responsibility as a storyteller and someone who has an audience online to try and give back or raise awareness for causes you care about.
I hate to start some sort of conspiracy theory online, but would you guys ever? Do you have any time limit? Do you think you'd stop with YouTube and you'd start to pursue other things, maybe like actual directing or filming? Do you think that would be anytime soon?
I certainly don't plan to stop anytime soon.
There's no need to stop YouTube to do that in my mind at all. Like I definitely have plans to do like quote unquote proper directing. I want to be able to, see if I can direct a commercial or something. Just do it as work, because it's a fun thing to do generally. But I would be very surprised if I started making films and the internet wasn't a part of that in some way. These days it would just feel so backwards.
Well, without it, I certainly wouldn't have got to where we are now, so we're not exactly going to leave it behind. It's been instrumental in us getting here, and it will be instrumental in us getting further, I think.
So do you think it's really important to be connected with social media, always update, stuff like that? Does it ever get frustrating if everyone's asking you to update all the time, but you have other things that you don't really want to update?
Yeah, it's certainly one of the challenges with YouTube and social media at the moment is when you put yourself out there and you connect with a lot of people, you feel like you have to keep them constantly up to date. And sometimes you don't want to always do that, especially when you're working out who you are or you're
maybe
growing
you
up.
don't want to, but you can't. Perhaps if you're filming for a week or somewhere and then there's not internet. Yeah, there's certainly an expectancy to keep people updated, and sometimes it's not always the easiest thing. But like we were just saying, at the same time, it gives us a lot. To have people there, to have an audience there. How lucky is the best thing as a filmmaker or any creative to have an audience there. So it's something we value, I think.
As most people do when they're younger, they want to be like a fireman or something like that. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I distinctly remember being like 5 years old, thinking I wanted to be a man when I grew up. Just like I didn't want to do a job. I just imagined myself as like this man with his like big bushy beard and a family.
Did you want to be Spider-Man? Is that not one of your
Maybe
videos?
that. Well, I mean,
Maybe I've just seen videos.
I never
of you dressed as
legitimately
Spider-Man.
thought I want to be Spider-Man. That was sort of a passion that came when I was old enough to realise that wasn't a possibility.
That's quite a nice one. And I guess you've become a man. So
I have.
That's good.
Well, I can't grow a beard yet.
No, we're working on
It's
that.
still.
I feel you. Yeah.
I don't think I did want to grow up. I think I was quite happy
Peter
being a
Pan.
child and running around.
Peter Pan.
Yeah, Peter Pan.
Yeah, I suppose I did want to do sort of film. We were lucky in that some of our sort of friends and family members were involved in that industry, so we've sort of always seen it and been inspired by it. So I do actually remember taking me to study. I remember I wanted to be a film producer. That seemed more exciting. I didn't really know what it meant, but film producer.
I think I just wanted to be like a soccer player or something. It had nothing to do with anything. I didn't know.
That was horrible.
Sweet.
And one more. Do you plan on attending Buffer Festival next year?
Yeah,
Sure, yeah, it's epic. It's a really good festival. I love the fact it focuses on content and sitting people down and screening with great sound and great visuals.
It's a great platform for YouTubers to branch out into filmmaking. So I think it's doing a great thing.
This is, bar like getting into film festivals. This is the only opportunity I have to screen films I've made on a cinema screen.
That was the first time I've ever screened anything on a screen and had people sat next to people whilst they'd watched something that I've made. That's the first time ever.
I was in the audience. Every single person was loving it so much.
Oh really? I
Yeah.
could just hear my heart. Seriously, it sounds so dramatic. I was like, I was like, can other people around me hear this? I was terrified. But it's an awesome opportunity. We're really grateful to Buffer for giving us that opportunity. It's an amazing location, to show. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a lovely day.
You too.
Good luck with the rest of the
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And my friends, they wanted to see if you could say "I love you" to them on camera.
We'll say hello.
Say hi.
Hello.
Yeah,
is
that's
this?
I would appreciate. Yeah. Okay.
What's their names?
Moonha, Victoria, and Tamarin.
Hello, Moonher, Victoria, and Tamarin.
Hello.
Will you tweet us that video if you cut in and put it
Yeah,
online? Yeah, send
of
it to
course.
us. Yeah, that'd be cool.